Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's SMILOFY India. This is my new initiative where we are going to bring in a lot of stories, real life stories, where you will be listening to motivational stories from real people in real departments. Today, being the first day, I have got a very special guest here. He's a scientist in ISRO. He's the manager in INMCC and a very dear friend. I would love to call him on board now. Sir, Suresh sir, welcome on board. Welcome to Let's Smilify India.
Thank you.
And
Nice to be
today's
on your
topic,
platform.
thank you. And today's topic is impossible possible. The reason why we have given this headline, this title to this episode is because Suresh sir comes from a very humble background, which he's going to talk about. So Suresh sir, I better hear about your background from you. So coming to you, please introduce your background. How did the journey start? Where are you from? All the details to our viewers.
Yeah. To start with, let me tell you what I do right now and then go back to the background. So, I'm working as a senior scientist with the Indian Space Research Organization, heading the international unit of ISRO, which basically takes care of search and rescue activities. Uh, and it's a early warning service, providing services to about 7 countries in addition to India. So that is where I currently work. When you are flying, if something happens, but forbidden, nothing should happen.
Hmm.
The first information will be received at INMCC, Indian Mission Control Center,
Okay.
and that is being managed by
You,
the center called as INMCC, and I am managing it.
sir. It
Yes,
is
it could
being
be an aeroplane, it could be a ship, or people going on mountaineering or some yatra. So they are supposed to carry an emergency equipment called beacon, activate when in distress. In the case of aircrafts and ships, they get activated on their own automatically. So search and rescue.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
I, being such a dear friend of yours, I still didn't know what you're doing. So I just knew you're a senior scientist. That's about it, and I'm so proud of you. Wow. Okay,
Thank you.
so coming to your humble
Background.
beginnings.
Oh,
Which part of India are you from, and what exactly was the scenario when you were growing up?
yeah. My native place is Gollarahatti. The name of the place is Gollarahatti, and it is there in Bilichod, Hobli, Jagalur Taluk, Davangere district, Karnataka state. So that is where I belong to. Coming to the way I was growing, many people will be surprised by looking at me. I studied in a school which had only 2 rooms, but 4 classes. The class 1 and class 4 were to be in one classroom with a
Oh,
single teacher,
wow.
and class 2 and 3 in another room with another teacher. So I still visit my place when I go there. In fact, I used to meet my teacher, first standard teacher. Now he is no more. So I do go and remind myself that this is where I belong to. In fact, during the early days, when I was studying in first standard, second standard, summer holidays means it used to be going to the fields, in the sense going on the roads, pick up dry cow dung, collect them in a basket, come back and either use them directly or make it in the form of a usable form for fire. That is how we grew up. Nowadays, children have summer holidays means they go for classes, they study this. That time it was, supporting the family. That's my background.
I am speechless because we all have been so protected and our backgrounds are so different that most of the times when we look at anybody coming from the interiors, rich interiors of our country, I think the privileged class that I call, we can look at them in nothing but that bichargi that we look at people. And then here comes people like Mr. Suresh Nayak who just blow us apart. So I am quietly going to now, we'll talk about this as the program progresses. But right now, I want to focus on your journey when you started, sir, when you were a child or when you were growing up. Was this from the beginning that you knew you're going to get into engineering and then get into ISRO, or why in the process somewhere something struck? What was the journey? How did it start? Because yeah, I that is one point that I really want to know. What was the trigger point for you to get into this?
Yeah, I will handle it in two ways. Why I got into engineering.
Hmm.
Actually, during one of the summer holidays, I was playing with one of my cousin, whose father was no more, so they were living with us.
Mhm.
We were playing marbles,
Mhm.
and there was one office quarters of one supervisor. Supervisor normally works under an engineer
Mhm.
in public works department,
Mhm.
and that supervisor in Kannada we call it as suborsi.
Mhm.
Uh, that supervisor called me by my caste. Hey, that caste ka ladka aa jao. Banjara. We belong to Banjara, one of the tribes of India.
Been there,
Hey,
yes.
Banjara ka ladka aa jao. He called me in Kannada. I said, I just went. That is how we were addressed. So I
Mhm.
just went there. So he wanted me to open the septic tank of his house because it was blocked.
Mhm.
So I was about 7 years old, first standard, second standard. So I refused
Vedant's
to do
age.
so.
Almost Vedant's age.
Yeah, your son's age. I
Oh,
refused to do so.
huh.
Then he told me, he offered me money, 25 paisa. With 25 paisa, I could buy five ice candies. Still, I refused. That is when he started scolding me. Then what triggered me in my mind is that this person used my caste as a means to call me, number one. Number
Mhm.
two, he offered me money to do something which he didn't want it to do. See, it is his own toilet getting blocked, but he wanted the help of a underprivileged child to open the septic tank. Then that had a strong impact on my mind. I found out that he is he works under a engineer. That is when I wanted to become an engineer. I wanted to be superior to him. That is it.
So he kind
Then
of became your first role model. That's the first trigger point.
exactly, I wanted to. He became a role model so that I can become one level higher than him. So coming to ISRO, see, my first job was Tata Institute of Fundamental Research,
Hmm.
and it's a long story how I got into Tata Institute of Fundamental Research after my uh, MTech from IIT Kharagpur.
Please tell your stories because we are really interested in knowing. Because you are here one personality who has given direction to his anger, an anger that started at a very small age of 7. You have
Yeah,
given direction and you have reached. You could have gone two ways. Either you could have just victimized yourself and said ऐसे ही है जिंदगी तो रोना धोना लेके आप बैठ सकते थे, but
yes,
rather you decided to do something in your life and come out of the situation. That is exactly what we are wanting to tell our audience, whoever is going to see this episode, from whichever part of India they are, जिस किसी भी शहर में हैं, जिस किसी भी ताल्लुक में हैं, वो एक बार जरूर देखें कि एक मन में अगर ठान लिया तो कुछ भी पॉसिबल है, हर
Very
इम्पॉसिबल पॉसिबल है. सो सर, अब आप हमें बताइए आपकी इसरो की क्या जर्नी थी. यू वेंट फॉर इंजीनियरिंग टू आईआईटी खड़गपुर, आई बिलीव.
Yeah, I went for my MTech. I graduated from SJC, Sri Jayachamandra College of Engineering, Mysore.
Okay.
In fact, I failed in final year of engineering. I failed in one of the subjects.
Back.
Then I had two choices: discontinue engineering or do something better than engineering, which basically wipes off the bad mark. So I chose the second one. I had to anyway wait for 6 months for doing my, whatever subject I had failed. So I said, okay, anyway, I'm preparing for that. Let me prepare for the GATE 89, 1989 GATE. We call it as Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering, GATE 89. So that I can study ME or MTech. And at the same time, because of the stipend which I get, I can support my family. See, that time, the salary for an engineer used to be about 3,000 rupees, whereas the stipend for any graduate, engineering graduate qualified in GATE used to be 2,800 rupees.
Wow.
So I said, let me get my higher education so that I wanted to remove that black mark of failure in engineering. So I appeared, and when I was appearing in GATE, I never intended to go for the IIT. But then, when I got the GATE scorecard, I was, standing on one of the city bus stand to go to my college, and I happened to meet one of my classmates. GATE scorecard used to come with 15 rupees postcard those days. I was just putting it in my pocket and just waiting. I still remember his name is Girish Bhatt. He just told me, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I said, "Yes, this card has come." Then, he was surprised. Get card. You qualified in GATE. He was more fascinated than me. Then I said, he asked me, "Oh, you didn't apply to IITs?" I said, "No." Oh, the date for getting the application of IIT was over. Then he told me, let's go to one of my friend. He normally gets the application for IIT. If he is not using it, let us take from him. He took me to his friend, and it so happened that that friend of him was not using the application form, and that application was to IIT Kharagpur.
Wow. Wow. So luck was with you too.
Yes.
Okay. So then in IIT, when you came in, we will talk about ISRO a little later. I want to understand, coming from interiors, because being a professor myself, I see a lot of students who come from the interiors of the nation, and they are so dumbstruck firstly in the urban setup, and then they start feeling very inferior in between the English speaking students of the urban students specifically, who are more exposed to a lot of stuff. Did you go through all of that when you started your journey in the IIT setup? Were there such hurdles for you also?
See, that even I had during engineering also.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is that, as I told you, I belong to a Banjara community. We have an inherent capability to adjust to any eventualities. See, that helped me a lot because I will tell you how it is. Whenever we go to a new area, say for an example, engineering, there I used to look for students in my class who are more knowledgeable than me, who had more skills. It may be talk English, and the people who had confidence. See, this is what matters. With whom you are getting associated to. See, initially it will be an humiliation because you will not be opening your mouth, but then slowly you will have developed confidence because the average confidence of the crowd is confidence of everyone put together.
Yes. Yes.
So that is how I used to do. And in IIT, when I went, there was a drastic change in the
Culture.
teaching level.
Oh.
Teaching level. Engineering from SJC,
Hmm.
Mysore, and sudden jump to IIT.
Hmm.
And there I go, professors are talking, and I was only looking at them, not understanding anything.
Hmm.
So that is where one of my classmates, who had done BTech from the same IIT Kharagpur,
Hmm.
he came to my rescue.
Hmm.
I went to him and told him, I don't understand anything.
Hmm.
You tell me what to do.
Hmm.
No, it's that's why I always tell my children to start with and any youngster whom I meet. If you don't know something, please tell that you don't know so that it
Ask
can be
for help.
clarified.
Yes.
Remain, it is better to become a fool once
Hmm.
rather than remaining a fool for the lifetime. So I told him, I totally surrendered to him, saying that you tell me, I don't know anything. You tell
Hmm.
me. And that gentleman, Devashish Goswami,
Hmm.
very nice person. He never even made me feel that, I don't know this. Are you don't know this? He never told me. He used to just start from A, B, C, D, and he used to bring me to his level.
Hmm.
Anyway, his level was quite high,
Hmm.
but then understanding level he used to bring.
Hmm.
Then see, family wise, my family's financial condition was not enough to fulfill my studies or whatever. But then instead of doing directly for the ME or MTech, I went in for GATE and then went to MTech
Hmm.
because I wanted to support the family and at the same time I wanted to study.
Hmm.
So, and from the beginning, I have been a person who don't spend. In fact, my daughter keeps telling me that I am more need based, not desire based.
We all know that. Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
no, I know the value of money because I qualified in MTech IIT, and then all my classmates were going abroad. But then somehow there was one caption written on IIT Kharagpur, dedicated to service of the nation. Unfortunately, which nation was not written there? Everyone understood as nation, and they used to go to abroad and develop that particular nation, but not India. So I said, what I understood as nation, dedicated to the service of nation. Still, you find that caption on IIT Kharagpur. That nation is India. So that made me to stay back in India, and I wanted to do something for India. My contribution should be for India only, not for any other country. That is the situation. So I did decided. I applied for multiple places. I got job in two. Uh, One is IIT, ITI, Indian Telephone Industries, Mankapur. Another was IIT, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. I was
Hmm.
invited for an interview.
Hmm.
I had no money to go for the interview. Then one more uh, written test call came to me from SAIL, Steel Authority of India. I said, okay, good. Both were apart by 4 days, 4 or 5 days, I think. So I decided, okay, let's go. But then I had absolutely no money to go. Somehow, my mother managed to borrow money, and then give money so that I can only reach Bombay, but no money to come back. Then I told Mom, don't worry, I have money to go, and government will pay money to come back. So I attended SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited. I That was again a big journey. As soon as I reached Bombay, the way I was dressed up, see, my habit has been to dress up nice with whatever I have. So by looking at me, people thought the taxi driver who came to pick me up thought, "Oh, he just picked my bag." And he took me to his taxi and said, "Sir, where do you want to go?" I said, "Santa Cruz." He was very happy. He thought I'm going to an airport. Santa Cruz Airport. That time Bombay Airport was in Santa Cruz. So then he started the car and he's going towards Santa Cruz. I said, "I have only 75 rupees." Suddenly he stopped the car onto the left side
Hmm.
because 75 rupees was not enough to go to Santa
Santa
Cruz.
Cruz. Hmm. Hmm.
Then I told him, "I will pay you the minimum charges, whatever is there." That was 50 rupees that time. I said,
Hmm.
"I'll pay you. Tell me how to reach this particular place where I have to attend the interview." He said, "Sir, I'll drop you to nearby train station, that is Dadar." I even asked him, "How much does it take to reach Santa Cruz?" He said, "I think 4 to 6 rupees, sir." I said, "Okay, good." Then I waited till 4:30 when the train started. I went to Santa Cruz station, and then how much money I have? 75 minus 50. Still, the confidence with which I was going, then started walking towards the examination hall. It was quite far. Wherever I used to ask my
Santa Cruz is
fellow,
huge. Yes.
huge. And then
Uh-huh.
when I asked Santa Cruz East, I remember
Hmm.
they said, "You catch a bus from here and you can go."
Hmm.
They said, "No, no, no, I don't want to catch a bus because I wanted to save money." And so I started walking.
Hmm.
And when I started walking, I wanted to freshen up.
Hmm.
But where do I do that?
Hmm.
I just found a hotel there. I
Hmm.
started washing my face.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, that guy said, "Sir, you will not get coffee tea. You have to wait for some time." I said, "Thank God I saved my money for chai." But that was an opportunity to get freshen up. Then
Hmm.
I walked to the examination hall.
Hmm.
Someone called me from the back, "Suresh, Suresh."
Hmm.
I turned back. He's one of the friend who was studying in IIT.
Hmm.
Then he said, "क्या चाय नहीं पिलाओगे?" तो गया, 2 रुपया बचाया तो अभी 4 रुपए गया. So we had chai, and 8:30 the exam started.
Hmm.
हाँ, पेट में चूहे दौड़ रहे थे. उसी हालत में एग्जामिनेशन को अटेंड किया. Or around 12:30, when I go to the accounts people to collect money, I had one more challenge there. They said, "Your native place is Davangere and nearest exam center is Bangalore. We will pay you for only Bangalore to Davangere, not Davangere to Bombay." Then I was in a soup. I don't have money to go back now also because Bangalore to Davangere is only 200 kilometers, 250 kilometers,
Hmm.
whereas this is 1,000 kilometers. So what to do? I was just thinking what to do, what to do. There's a survival instinct coming there. So I just remembered that one of my classmates in IIT Kharagpur had told me that he's going to join for a PhD in IIT Mumbai,
Hmm.
IIT Powai.
Right.
Powai is the place
Right.
of the
Right.
IIT. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
So I said, okay, let's go and search. I had a little bit of money now. I had more confidence.
Hmm.
So I did go to the Powai station. Then I went to IIT Powai. And now a challenge is to uh, search where is he. So there were about 11 hostels. And when one gentleman came to know that I am looking for a student who is in PhD, he was very happy. He said, you have to search only one hostel, not 11 hostels. Because all the PhD students were put in one hostel. So here again, my luck favored. He was coming out of his room and I was entering the corridor.
Whoa.
He was totally surprised. And then I said, you don't have to lock the room. Let's go inside. I have to talk to you. I told him, this is what has happened. I don't have money to go back. Please provide me accommodation in your room and food in your mess. I'll pay you for that. Whatever expenses are there, I'll pay you. He agreed to do so. So every food, I noted down how much. But then I had no bidding. I had to sleep on the newspaper. And in that room, I used to sleep after he sleeps.
Why?
Because that room can accommodate only one cot and one little space. If I sleep, he will not have space to walk. And I should get up before he gets up. And on the newspaper. So then I waited for Tata Insta Fundamental Research interview to be interview day. Then I went for the interview, Tata Insta Fundamental Research. And then I got money there for coming back. So both money put together was the money to come back.
Wow. Wow.
So
This is like that is that's some struggle. I am so speechless listening to this. And then from there, how did the shift happen towards ISRO?
yeah. So there, I was there for about 4 years, and after that, I lost my father, and I wanted to come back because my mother is there in Davanagere. My brother, who is not married, is in Davanagere, and wanted to be at a distance where within few hours I can reach home. And having this kind of qualification, only place I could get accommodated was in Bangalore, because Bangalore is a place where it can be. I can now also, if someone is ready to pay me like what ISRO is paying, I am ready to go to Davangere because that's my home. Okay, so ISRO, there was a vacancy. I applied. I was called for the interview. I had to compete with 3 research students, and I was an MTech. There were 3 PhD holders in communication. So that's it. I don't know why they selected me. I was chosen among the PhD holders.
Wow. Wow. And then you came to Bangalore.
Yes. And I've been here now from past 25 years. I've become more like a Bangalorean. But
You are a
still,
Pakka Bangalorean.
yeah. But still, I want to go back.
Yeah. I remember you telling me your plans after post retirement. I am going to go back.
Yeah, I want to be a farmer.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
And now I'm going to now come to what has been your personally, because as I said before, whenever we talk about now specifically these days with the migrant issue and all of that, whenever we talk about anybody from the interiors of the nation, we feel they have zero qualifications. We have that bechara touch. We always think about them as underprivileged people who cannot do anything about their lives and they only need help to be supported. And then here comes a success story, and you're not, I mean, you are one of those few who have really probably made your taluks very proud. Probably are you the first generation to come out of there and get into a job, and or there have been generations in your family to do this
Uh,
before?
I I am the first person from IIT graduation or post graduation
Yeah.
among
So the
our
first
community.
person, yeah, the first person to come out and be the success that you are.
Yeah.
What is your success mantra? Now I want this to go. हम ये अगर हिंदी में बोलें तो शायद ज्यादा लोगों तक पहुंच जाएगा, which I will be later, you know, Hindi. Let's talk in Hindi here, where क्या है आपका वो सक्सेस मंत्रा जो बाकी का यूथ नहीं अपना पा रहा है आज के टाइम पे? क्या कमी रह जा रही है इंटीरियर्स के यूथ में कि वो अपने पैशन को नहीं पकड़ पा रहे?
See, for any success, uh, see, after coming to ISRO, I attended one international seminar on project management.
Hmm.
And in that, Professor U.R. Rao,
Hmm.
was the chairman of that particular
Hmm.
um, seminar. And he told
Hmm.
that Man, Samman, or Apman, Man, Samman, and Apman.
Hmm.
These are the three things which will make you success for any project. See, life is also a project.
Of course.
To
Hmm.
make anything successful, these three things have to happen. In
True.
my case, yeah, in my case, in fact, Professor Rao, I still remember, he said, I know Man and Samman are the two things behind success. I don't know why Apaman is behind the success. That time I knew how Apaman can make you successful. So, what I would say to the youngster people is unless the burn inside your gut, burning desire, you say, it's not big enough, strong enough,
Hmm.
you cannot succeed.
Hmm.
If the
Hmm.
burn is less, you will always find a exit. एक रीजन को ढूंढ के रखो, एक रीजन को ढूंढ के
Hmm.
रखो, rather than finding 100 excuses. Very easy to find excuses. At every point of time, I would have found some excuse. But then I said, no, one reason to succeed is enough.
There was a point when you came back very disappointed and did not want to go back to study further, if I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
me right. Yeah, yeah. So,
yeah,
so please, can you narrate that story also?
yeah. During my early period of IIT Kharagpur,
Huh.
it was in first semester. I told you the kind of help which I got it from Devashish Goswami. That was after this particular incident.
Hmm.
During Dasara holidays, most of the colleges are closed in uh, Bengal, West Bengal.
Hmm.
So we were given a 15 days holiday and I came back. And after coming back, I decided not to go because I couldn't cope up with studies.
Hmm.
I couldn't understand what the professor was talking.
Hmm.
Then I told this to my mom, my
Hmm.
mother, who studied only third standard.
Hmm.
And after listening to that, she said, okay, now you have some holidays, you
Hmm.
relax for the holiday.
Hmm.
Then slowly over that left out period of 10 to 12 days, what she did was slowly she started reminding me of the hardship which we had undergone before that. How we were cooking with only two vessels in the house, with the do chamach, and how we were, the kind of houses we had. Now at least we have a house with a proper roof. So she just started reminding me that difficulties are a part of life.
Hmm.
It depends on how you overcome them. So by the end of that holiday, I was confident enough to go back
Hmm.
and then never came back. I
Wow.
contacted my classmate, surrendered to him, and then he helped me out. See, this is how when you are in such a situation, एक बिल्ली भी ज्यादा दबा देंगे तो उल्टा, you know, it just bounces on you. Similarly, जब eventualities, the difficulties are just ponding on you, you have to bounce back. And
I
yeah,
have to ask you now. Everything like you had a very good support from your immediate family. Your parents supported throughout, unlike what we see when we are working with the government schools and all. We see parents not being supportive. They pick, they pull out the kids and make them work at a very early age. Now that was one difficulty that you did not face. You did not have to really fight with your immediate family. But were the rest of the family members equally supportive, or were you facing? Was your family facing some kind of social? Why are you doing this? Why the kids have to study so much and all of that?
see, my family, see, my mother is basically the main catalyst behind my success.
Hmm. Hmm.
She has been ill-treated by her relatives, her brothers and sisters,
Hmm.
to the extent that she felt that only solution is my children should be educated.
So, oh,
So,
again, what Nam?
yes,
What was that? Nam?
नाम नहीं, सम्मान and अपमान, मान सम्मान और
Man,
अपमान.
Samman, Apman. Okay, so
Yes,
in your mother's case also it was the Apman that worked
exactly,
as a fuel. And that worked
exactly.
as a further fuel for you because she wanted to see
Yes,
you guys successful. And that is why
yes.
probably yours is the first generation, first family, including your brother. You have to tell us about your brother also. I believe he's also in a very good
My
post.
I'll tell you, I have two elder sisters and one younger
Hmm,
brother. We are
hmm,
four in a
hmm,
family.
hmm.
My eldest sister is doctorate in botany. She is the principal of college in Davanagere.
Wow. Okay.
And my second sister, she's also elder to me. She's a gynecologist. She and my brother-in-law are having a 20-bedded nursing home in Hirur, and I'm the third one.
Hmm.
And my younger brother, he's the superintendent engineer, Rajiv Gandhi, uh, Rajiv Gandhi
Housing is.
Housing Corporation, Rajiv
Yeah.
Gandhi Housing Corporation,
Hmm.
superintendent engineer in Bangalore. So
All four well settled, well educated. How did they
yes,
manage with that small
proud,
that
proud to be.
coming from the humble backgrounds where you're saying you're the Banjaras
Yes,
and the
yes,
tribals. The tribals do not have that kind of
yes.
uh, economic setup to have four kids and give them this kind of education. Here,
Yes.
coming from the best of the backgrounds, if we have four kids, we can't do that. How did they manage this? How did you all went to the government schools, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I have not gone to any of the private schools. It's only the government schools because we couldn't afford. See, four children. हम हमारे दो दो. You know, right now the son is हम दो हमारे दो. नहीं
अभी तो
नहीं.
एक
Yeah,
हो
my
गया
father is telling हमारे दो दो. Two girls and two boys. So that government college was the only solution.
and the
How we
education
come
was
up?
obviously free.
Huh? Examination fees will be less. Everything will be less. And my elder sister's books were used by my younger sister in the sense second sister, and the same books used to come to me because we were just 1 year ahead, apart.
Yeah.
So no way of wasting, no way of anything, absolutely.
And in the process, somewhere you learned English also, because I very briefly remember you telling me very briefly that somewhere in the government school the English was not your forte, and then you learned that
Definitely,
language.
definitely. It's something like, English is also taught in Kannada. That is how it used to be. So in engineering, what I did was I associated people who could speak better English, the North Indians. So that is how, I used to put myself in a situation where I'm surrounded by people who are better than me, better English talking. It's not that I don't like getting associated with the Kannadigas or South Indians. Sometimes, in SJC engineering, when I was studying there, when there is Durga Puja, North Indians used to take me for collecting the chanda,
Hmm.
and during Ganapati, South Indians used to take me for collecting chanda for Ganapati. So I used to get associated with North Indians to learn English, to learn Hindi, but I'm close to the Kannadigas also.
You are very
So
close to Kannadigas. You behave like a Kannadiga only. Now, I just want to understand one
yeah,
last question, two more questions only.
yeah,
We are going to wind up
please,
soon now.
yeah,
Uh, uh, this present generation, when we are talking to, when most of us we talk to the present generation, I feel there is a lack of, like how when we were growing up, we always had a role model.
yes,
We always used to follow somebody and say, okay, I want to become like this, I want to become like that. I'm sure you must be also having some role model in your life when you were growing up, when you grew up. Who was your role model?
yeah. To become an engineer, you already know who was my role model, the supervisor
Yeah,
who
your
humiliated
yeah.
me.
I
Okay.
don't know if he was a role model or a trigger point. I think he was a trigger. I'm not calling him a role model.
Yeah, but still, see, if I was taking revenge on him, but
Hmm.
I wanted to become better than him. So engineer was the role model for him, for me.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Then now my role model is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, because as the years progressed, I could relate my humiliation to his experiences and feel that no, I am better off. I am not humiliated the way Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has been humiliated. So, as such a gentleman, if he can survive that kind of humiliation, why not I? Nothing compared to my experiences, nothing compared to Dr. Ambedkar. And I always tell people that grow where you are planted. If people say, if I am born to such a rich person, I would have been better. If my father had left some property, I would have been better. These are all excuses. Grow where you are planted. कमल का फूल कीचड़ में रहता है, but it comes out as a winner. And संस्कार को तो बचा के रखना ही पड़ेगा. See, बच्चों में संस्कार नहीं रहा तो we lost our, no, we lost our entity, identity. Because now you see my children, both Ramanjan and Rakshita, know our language. Very first language which they learned was our language.
Banjara language.
Yes, Banjara language. At home, we speak the same language.
Yes.
For conversing with others, we use Kannada, English, Hindi. But at home, we converse in Banjara language. And I always tell them, leave a mark. Leave a mark wherever you go. संस्कार बच्चे रहोगे तो डेफिनेटली याद रखेगा, दुनिया याद रखेगा. That is number one. And leave a mark. Do something. See, looking at Priya, people should say, yes, Priya, yeah, she's doing such a thing, such a good thing. That is how you have to be remembered. It's not that who's Priya. I don't know who's Priya. That is not the thing. Once they say your name to be remembered as a person following a particular principle. So one more thing which I wanted to bring to your this one shocking experience which I had in my life. It was basically a movie kind of experience.
Hmm.
1 month before my marriage,
Hmm.
when I came back from Bombay to buy cloth for the marriage, you buy in the
Clothing.
presence of the boy,
Hmm. Hmm.
girls family. When I landed in the sense by bus I was coming. When I landed in Davangere, I found my father dead 1 month before my marriage. I would wish this situation should not come to anyone. Bounced back, and I was awarded scholarship for studies abroad by Government of India. I could pursue. That's because I have my mother and my younger. I could have left them and gone out. I didn't do because I had a commitment to fulfill. Now I am proud. My mother is still there. She's, you told me, I told you that she's the one who behind all my success. So, are we closing now or sorry
No,
for becoming emotional?
I just can't. It's okay. Yeah, that was like,
Yeah, yeah. That's why,
yeah.
I would
I'm
always say,
kind of speechless. I'm trying to search for words now.
yeah. No, I would always say if someone listens to this conversation and maybe after a year or maybe after a few years, someone, calls me or tells me that it's because of this that I became so and so, I'd be the most happiest person. I want to see success in others because of my life story.
I think the message is loud and clear.
Yeah.
Impossible, possible. There is nothing impossible. Till the
Yes.
time you have the fire in you, the fuel in you, the fuel can be because of man, Saman, Apman. There is
Yes.
the message. Now you
Yes.
have to identify what is going to be your trigger point. There
Yes.
is no escapism that we should. The escapism should not be the route.
Yes.
Victimization should not be the route. We have to stick to our goals. Firstly,
Yes.
identify your own passion. What is your passion? Where do you want to lead? Have a role model, follow that. And there is
Yes.
nothing that can stop you. Nothing, not even lack of money. Mostly people say it is lack of money, lack of suhuliyat, lack of infrastructure that stops people. No, if Mr. Suresh R. Nayak can, anybody can, because that
Yeah.
is, he has come out from the humblest of the backgrounds where there was actually dearth of everything. And if the entire family, not just him, the entire family stood up, educated themselves, and turned the clock around, they have changed the structuring of their entire kutumb. They have changed the way the kutum is looked at. They have got so much respect for their entire families. तो अगर ये कर सकते हैं तो आप क्यों रुके हैं? Thank you
Very true.
so much, Mr. Suresh. It was It was such a wow conversation with you. I hope people will learn from this. I hope all the NGOs working around, all the people working around with the underprivileged sector can see this episode, show it to the people there, and motivate them towards a better tomorrow. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. I'm coming home for dinner. Bye bye.
Please, welcome. Welcome.
Okay. Okay. Bye, sir. Bye.